All right, so in this problem, again, we are solving a quadratic. When I look at the quadratic equation, I know it's a quadratic because of the m squared. I'm looking for another m term and I don't see one. So because of that, I can just isolate the 4m squared. So I'm going to get 4m squared. I'm going to subtract 7 from both sides. And so when I do that, I'm going to get, what is that? 56, negative 56. And then what I want to do is divide by 4 and divide by 4. So then I get m squared equals negative. 4 goes into 5 once, and there's a 1 left over, so 4 goes into 16 4 times. So now, when we look at this, m squared equals negative 14. Again, I don't want m squared, I want m, so I've got to take the square root of both sides. And so then I get the absolute value of m equals the square root of negative 14. But remember, guys, we can think of this as the square root of negative 1 times the square root of 14. And what do we know the square root of negative 1 is going to be? It's going to be I square root 14. Now we always get in the habit of putting the I in the front of the square root, because if we put it back here in the back, people might think it goes underneath the square root. So we always kind of put it in the front. So now we know that m is, we know that m is going to be equal to plus or minus I square root 14. And there is my answer. Now, what is this telling you? When you look at this equation, I know that m is positive, so because m is positive, I know that this graph is opening somewhere above the x-axis. And I know it's above the x-axis, again, because m is positive, and I know it's not crossing the x-axis because I have I in my answer. And that's all the I is telling us, is that it's giving us a solution to our quadratic so that we can identify where it is on the graph. And the I is just telling us that, hey, we don't cross the x-axis.